This lecture here is all about the photochemical reactions of these 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate mesoionic molecules. And in this whole lecture, I will be talking about only two such reactions. The first one you can see here is in which this mesoionic molecule is reacting with this singlet oxygen in the presence of methanol as a solvent. And as you can see here, we are irradiating this reaction with some light here or H nu. So basically it is a photochemical reaction. And on this side, you can see that two different products will be formed here in this reaction. The first one is a keto ester because it contains a keto group here, you can see here, as well as one ester in this way. So it is a combination of a keto and ester. In general, we can call it as a keto ester molecule, right? So this is the first product here. And if you look here onto the second product, which is actually a type of a thioester, right? Why we are calling it as a thioester? Because we know esters are what? These are C double bond O oxygen here and R group here on this side as well as on this side. So instead of oxygen here, what we are having is a sulfur atom, so better to call it as a thio type of ester, right? So once again, this is the very first reaction which we will be talking about in detail, and it is what? It is the conversion of this 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate molecule in the presence of a singlet oxygen as well as methanol as a solvent. And what we are getting here is the ketoester plus a molecule of thioester, right? So instead of going to the mechanism straight away, I want to discuss a few things before that. As you can see here, what I am trying to depict here is that the rose Bengal, which is actually a type of a dye or let us say a strain, it actually converts the normal or the triplet oxygen molecule, which is actually a type of a ground state molecule, with the help of this irradiation method into what? Into a singlet type of oxygen molecule. Okay, so what is happening here is generally I have tried to shown here is that the generation of a singlet oxygen molecule is taking place starting from a triplet oxygen with the help of what? The irradiations as well as the rose Bengal as the stain or the dye, right? So we can also depict this whole picture in this way, in which you can see here this PS here is what? It is the photosensitizer. It is reacting with the triplet oxygen here and converting it into a singlet type of oxygen, right? So we can say here that this rose Bengal, which is actually a photosensitizer, is doing what? It is consuming the irradiation energy to convert the triplet oxygen, which is actually a ground state oxygen, into a more reactive form of oxygen that is known as the singlet oxygen, right? So why we are doing all this? Because of the fact that the singlet oxygen is more reactive. Let me write here, it is more reactive, so that this reaction will be going in this direction here, because we are adding something more reactive in our mesoionic molecule, right? So I want to throw some more light here on the singlet as well as the triplet type of oxygen molecules. So based upon the molecular orbital theory, you can, if you remember such kind of diagrams, you will see here that as far as the triplet oxygen is concerned, in that case, in these antibonding pi molecular orbitals, 2 electrons will be present according to the Hund's rule, right? And it says that the electron prefers to remain parallel to each other and they will not pair up. And this is what is happening here in this triplet oxygen. On the other hand, what is present here in this singlet type of oxygen is that the 2 electrons are present in the same molecular orbital, let us say the pi x star, right? So what is happening here is that this electron here is actually jumping from this molecular orbital to this one here, and in doing so, what will happen? The triplet oxygen will get converted into a singlet type of oxygen molecule, right? Now, why we are saying here that the singlet oxygen is more reactive? On the other hand, the triplet state is more stable or less reactive. The reason being that if you go for counting the multiplicity of this system here, we can say here that because for a single electron present in a single molecular orbital, the value of small s is what it is, plus half. In the same way, for this second electron, the value of small s will be what it will be, plus half here, right? So that the resultant spin quantum number will be what it will be, half plus half, which will give us the value of capital S equals to 1 here. And now calculating the multiplicity, which can be done from this formula here, that is 2s plus 1. Let me write here, it is what it is, the multiplicity, which is 2s plus 1. This will come out to what? This will come out to be 2 multiplied by 1 plus 1, which will give us a 3 number here, right? So this is the reason why we are calling it as a triplet type of state here. I mean this state here, right? On the other hand, in this case, because both the electrons are present in the same anti-bonding molecular orbital but with opposite spins, so what we can do here is we can write here that the value of small s for this electron, which is in this direction, it will be what? It will be plus half because it is clockwise. On the other hand, the value of small s for the second electron, which is present in this anti-clockwise direction, it will come out to be minus half here, right? So in the same way, the resultant spin quantum number will be what? It will be plus half plus the minus of half here, which will give us the value of capital S equals to 0. So that now the multiplicity will be what? Once again, using that same formula, that is 2s plus 1. This will give us what? 2 multiplied by 0 plus 1, which will come out to be 1 here, right? And due to this reason, we will be calling this as a singlet type of oxygen molecule, right? So this will be the triplet type of oxygen molecule, and this is what this diagram here is what for the singlet type of oxygen molecule, which can also be represented in this way here, right? And now the fact that why we are saying that the singlet oxygen is more reactive, we can explain it in this way by saying that the two electrons, because they are present, I am talking about this molecular orbital here. We can say here that in this molecular orbital, the first electron as well as the second electron, they are present in the same anti-bonding molecular orbital, and because both the electrons contains the negative charges, and we know that the like charges repel each other, so the repulsions here in this case, I mean the second case, the repulsions are quite high here, right? So the high repulsions will do what? They will definitely increases the energy of this system, and this is the reason why we are calling the singlet state oxygen as the excited state or more reactive, or let us say it is less stable, right? On the other hand, in this case, the two electrons are present in the different anti-bonding pi molecular orbitals, so they are present far away, and thus the repulsions in this type of system will be less here, giving a ground state or a more stable state of the oxygen molecule, right? So I hope that the difference in between the singlet as well as the triplet oxygen molecule has been clear to you people now, so that we can return back to our main topic or our main mechanism. So now let us talk about the actual mechanism by which we are getting this type of ketoester as well as this type of thioester by the photochemical reaction of our mesoionic molecule in the presence of this singlet oxygen as well as the methanol as the solvent, right? And one more thing I want to add here is that in going from the triplet oxygen to the singlet oxygen, what is required is some type of photosensitizer as well as some energy in the form of irradiation. So in the present case, the rose bengal is what? The rose bengal is our photosensitizer, and in the presence of this type of irradiation, what is happening? It is converting the triplet into this singlet type of oxygen, which is more reactive, and that will be used up in carrying out our main reaction, right? So here is the mechanism of that reaction. So starting from the 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate, we can always write down the equivalent structure in this way, keeping two double bonds parallel to the axis of symmetry in this way, right? And moreover, please do not forget to put here a positive sign and to put a negative sign as usual in this equivalent structure, right? And after that, what is going to happen is we can always show resonance here in this way, which will now become a double bond oxygen. And because these electrons are coming here onto this side, now this carbon atom will be having a negative charge in this way, right? And now doing the regular cycloaddition mechanism here, I mean this will act as our 1,3-dipole molecule. And what about this here? This will be acting as the dipolarophile here, right? So going according to the usual cycloaddition mechanism and those transition states which we are talking about from the past 10 to 11 lectures. So we will end up with this type of cyclic adduct here, right? And now one important thing here to understand is that as we were carrying out the elimination of some type of simpler molecules such as carbon dioxide, isocyanates, as well as the carbonyl sulfide. In this case, such kind of eliminations will not be taking place. The reason being, as soon as this cyclic adduct is being formed, it will react with the solvent present here, right? Such type of reactions in which the reactant reacts with the solvent, they are known as the solvolysis types of reaction, right? So what is happening here is nothing but the solvolysis is taking place. I mean the reaction with the solvent, which is methanol in this case. And now if we see here what type of reaction is taking place, we can say here that because it is a type of a thioester, it is a type of a thioester moiety here in our cyclic adduct. And we know that this carbon atom is having a partial positive charge. It is an electrophilic site. And we do have a nucleophilic site here, that is the oxygen lone pair, because they contain partial negative charge of this methanol molecule, right? So now what we can say here is that the oxygen lone pair will be going to attack here on this carbonyl carbon in this way, sending these electrons onto this side, right? So what is going to happen is that this will now become a single bond, as you can see here. Moreover, this oxygen here will now be having a negative charge, and the attack of this oxygen on this carbon atom will now be resulting in the formation of a new bond in between this carbon atom here as well as this molecule of methanol, right? And after that, I will say here that because the oxygen here is forming 3 bonds, so please do not forget to put a positive charge here. And as usual, now what will happen is that because the oxygen is electronegative and it is not happy to have a positive charge, so it will release this H positive ion from itself, such that now it will become what? It will become OCH3 group here, and this oxygen negative of course will accept a proton from the solvent, resulting in the formation of what? This type of OH here, right? So finally we will end up with a molecule by the reaction of the methanol, that is our solvent, with this cyclic adduct, and the reaction is what? It is this solvolysis reaction, resulting in the formation of this type of cyclic adduct. So now we will see that how this cyclic adduct will react further. So let me write here that how it is going to further react in the way that it will result in the formation of our main product molecules. So we will see here that a larger picture here of this intermediate, I mean the intermediate cyclic adduct, which we have got in our last slide, right? And here we are seeing that how it will react, resulting in the formation of our main product molecules. So now what is going to happen is that in this cyclic product, the next step is what? It is some sort of defragmentation, right? So defragmentation means it will be broken in the form of various fragments, and you can see here from these arrows which I have shown in the red color that how the fragmentation will be taking place. Okay, so the first thing is what? The first thing is that these electrons of this oxygen-oxygen bond, they are shifting from here to here in this way, such that it will now result in the formation of a double bond, which you can see here. I mean this double bond. And after that, these electrons of the carbon and the sulfur bond, they are shifting in between this carbon and this oxygen here in this way. And because of that, what is going to happen is it will now become a double bond, which you can see here. And also, this is giving its electrons to this carbon and oxygen single bond, obviously giving a double bond here in between carbon and the oxygen. And this will now be released in the form of H positive. And finally, these electrons are moving on to the sulfur, cleaving this bond here, such that you can see here a sulfur with a negative sign, right? And moreover, these electrons are also moving on to the sulfur. So what we will get here is an elemental type of sulfur, because whatever electrons this bond here is losing, the same number of electrons are being gained by the cleavage of this bond, because it is towards the sulfur atom, resulting in the formation of an elemental type of sulfur in this way, right? So this is the fragmentation pattern in this cyclic adduct molecule. And after that, of course, because it is sulfur negative, so it will be interacting with this H positive ions, resulting in the formation of what? Resulting in the formation of this type of, I mean, R1, C double bond O and SH, which we can call by a general name in organic chemistry. And this is known as what? This is known as the thio type of carboxylic acid, right? So let me write here, it is what it is, the thiocarboxylic acid here, plus the second thing which we will get here is this elemental sulfur here. And the last product molecule is this one here, which is what? Which is the keto type of ester molecule. And this is our first main product molecule, right? So in this way, using this type of mechanism, we have just seen that how we will end up with a ketoester molecule in this way here, right? But still our reaction is not complete, and now we have to look about the second product molecule, which is a type of a thioester, and that will obviously be derived from this type of thiocarboxylic acid, right? So now we will see that how this thiocarboxylic acid will be giving us the second product molecule, which is a type of a thioester. Let me write here thioester here, right? So moving on, so this will be obviously be giving a further type of reaction, and let us see how that reaction will be taking place. So you can see here this, I mean this type of thiocarboxylic acid. I have shown here the thiocarboxylic acid, and it will be reacting with the triplet type of oxygen molecule. Let me write here, this is a triplet oxygen molecule, which can also be shown in this way, I mean the diradical form, right? And here is the thiocarboxylic acid, which is an intermediate. And what we are discussing here is that how this thiocarboxylic acid will further react with oxygen, resulting in the formation of this type of thioester. That is the second important product molecule of our main reaction, right? So now what is going to happen is that, as I have told you, that this type of triplet oxygen can be shown in the form of this type of diradical species. So now this diradical here will be initiating a photochemical, or let us say a free radical type of reaction here, in which the homolytic cleavage of this bond will take place in this way, giving a radical here on this sulfur atom, and one H radical will be generated here, which will now combine with this diradical, resulting in the formation of what? Resulting in the formation of a hydroperoxy free radical, right? And after that, once the reaction has been initiated, this hydroperoxy radical will further react with the second, let us say this is the second molecule of thiocarboxylic acid, and here is the first molecule of thiocarboxylic acid, which has given what? Which has given this type of free radical, right? And whatever hydroperoxy radical we have got here after this reaction, it will now react with this second molecule of thiocarboxylic acid, once again resulting in the formation of S radical here in this way by the homolytic cleavage, and this H radical from here will now be going to what? Will now be going to the hydroperoxy free radical, resulting in the formation of this type of hydrogen peroxide, right? And you can see here that from the two molecules of thiocarboxylic acid, this was the first molecule and this was the second molecule here. What we have got is, we have got two free radicals. This is the free radical, number 1 here, and this is the free radical number 2 here, right? And moreover, what we have got is, we have got a molecule of hydrogen peroxide, right? So we can call it as a side product here. We can call it as a side product. And now a simple type of termination reaction will be there, which will be in between this first free radical and this second free radical. This radical here will combine with this sulfur radical, resulting in the formation of a bond, which you can see here in between this sulfur and this sulfur atom. And this is what now? This is the second product molecule of our first photochemical reaction, right? So let me go back and let me show you what we have done till now is the first photochemical reaction of our mesoionic molecule, which is the 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate, and making it to react with singlet oxygen, which have been generated with the help of a photosensitizer, that is a rose Bengal molecule, and with some light here and the triplet type of oxygen molecule, we have got what? This singlet oxygen, which is more reactive, right? So this singlet oxygen plus HNu plus methanol solvolysis and this reactant molecule will result in the formation of this first product molecule, that is a ketoester, and then some intermediate, which was the thiocarboxylic acid. Let me write here the thio R1C double bond oxygen and SH, right? So this thiocarboxylic acid will further react with oxygen in the presence of HNu, resulting in the formation of the second product molecule, which is what? Which is this thioester molecule, right? So this is all about the very first photochemical reaction. And now let us see what is there in this second photochemical reaction of this mesoionic molecule. So right on your screen, you can see here, this is the second photochemical reaction of the 1,3-dithiolium, because it contained two sulfur atoms in the main ring, and on 4 we are having a single bond oxygen negative, so better to call it as a 4-olate, right? So once again, it is also a photochemical reaction, and this time the solvent is what? It is benzene. And you will see here that finally, after all this reaction and the mechanism, we will be getting two different products here. Let us say this one here, this one here is the first product, and this one here is what? It is the second product molecule, right? So let us see quickly how we are getting these two different products from this photochemical reaction. Okay, the first thing which you can see here is the conversion of the mesoionic molecule into this type of intermediate, and you will see here that in this intermediate we are having this type of strained 3-membered ring, right? So now what is happening here is how we can explain the conversion of this stable molecule into this type of strained, let me write here, this type of strained molecule. We can say here that for the formation of this type of strained and unstable molecules, what is required is high amount of energy, so that such type of molecules can cross the high energy barriers which are required for the formation of this type of strained products, right? So if you remember that energy level diagrams in which starting from reactants we have products here, and then we have some transition states, some intermediates. So there is present some energy barriers like this here, which can be high, and such type of energy barriers can be crossed with the help of some energy. And in this case here, that high energy is coming from this irradiation, such that it is resulting in the formation of this type of intermediate, which is a strained as well as a less stable intermediate, right? So you can see here, even I have tried to show you that how this conversion is taking place. So with the help of this energy by irradiation, what is happening, first of all, keeping that symmetrical axis here and keeping two double bonds, we will have this type of situation in which now sulfur will be having a positive charge, and after that we can show here that this negative charge is shifting here, sending these electrons onto this carbon atom having the R2 substituent, so that we can see here a negative charge, and moreover another resonance here will be like this here, giving a positive charge here on this carbon atom, right? So now this is basically our 1,3 dipole here, not to forget. Let me write here 1,3 dipole. But this time we are having a positive and a negative charge, right? Now what happens usually in case of the mesoionic molecules, that whenever we encountered such kind of 1,3 dipoles, they always undergo reactions with the dipolarophiles by a cycloaddition type of mechanism, giving some type of stable products, right? But in this case, because the dipolarophile is not there, and moreover we are providing high energy in the form of H nu, so some reaction will definitely be taking place. And what will be that reaction? It will simply be the formation of a bond in between this carbon atom, which is electron deficient, and this carbon atom here, which is electron rich, which you can see here I have shown in this intermediate, right? And after that, what will happen is that these electrons will shift here onto this side, giving a negative charge, which is present in resonance in this way here, such that we will be having what? We will be having R1 here, then this single bond, and here is our sulfur, and this three-membered ring here with R2 here on this side. This bond here, this will now be having a positive charge. The sulfur will now be having a double bond, this carbon, a single bond oxygen negative, and this is bonded to this carbon atom in this way, right? And after that, this will now shift here, sending these electrons onto this side, such that the release of the carbonyl sulfide will take place in this way. And moreover, this will now be having a negative charge, something like this here, right? So once again, a positive and a negative in the presence of these high energy radiations. What will happen is a double bond will now appear on in between this carbon, and we will end up with this type of intermediate, right? And after that, what is going to happen is, with the help of two different pathways, as you can see here, this is the first pathway and this is the second one, right? So what is happening here is, in the second pathway, which is a simpler one, we can see here this is a three-membered ring structure. So let me write here, this is actually a strained molecule, and what is happening is the reaction is going in this direction and it is releasing strain. In what way? We can see here that these electrons are shifting from here to here, giving a triple bond, and these electrons are shifting to the sulfur atom, resulting in the formation of elemental sulfur in this way, right? So by pathway 2, we have just shown that how we will get this second product molecule starting from our mesoionic, which is 1,3-dithiolium 4-olate, by the reaction with H nu in the presence of benzene as the solvent, right? And there is also present a second pathway here, in which this intermediate, let us say this is the first molecule, it will react with the second molecule of the same intermediate, which you can see here. This is the first intermediate and this is the second intermediate molecule, and they will react with each other. In what way? In this way here, right? So once again, this is strained molecule here, this is a strained molecule, as well as the second molecule is also strained, okay? So for them, in order to release this high strain energy, what they can do is, either they can follow this pathway or they can follow this pathway here, right? So we have just seen that what will be there in the second pathway and how we will end up with this type of triple bond containing molecule plus elemental sulfur. And now we are talking about the second pathway here, in which what will happen is that the reorganization of the bond or the bonding electrons will take place in this way, right? So these electrons are coming in between this carbon and this carbon here, and the pi electrons of this double bond, they are coming in between this carbon and this carbon, resulting in the formation of this type of four-membered structure, as well as a three-membered structure is present here on the upside as well as on the downside, right? So finally, even this is also a strained cyclic molecule, because up to four-membered ring, we used to say that the molecule is a strained type of molecule, right? So the last thing which it can do is one more bond reorganization can take place here, and that will be something like these electrons coming here giving a double bond, and these electrons moving here in between this carbon and this carbon, once again giving a double bond here, right? So in this way, the high strain will be released, resulting in the formation of the first important product molecule of the second photochemical reaction, which is with what? Which is with the H nu in the presence of benzene as the solvent, right? So in nutshell, now I can say that in this lecture, we have discussed about two important photochemical reactions. The first one was with singlet oxygen, methanol as the solvent, and H nu that was giving us a molecule of ketoester and the thioester type of molecules. But not to forget here that the rose bengal was acting as the photosensitizer, which was converting the triplet ground state oxygen into a singlet more reactive oxygen, that is the requirement of this reaction, right? And the second reaction which we have discussed is it is the reaction of our mesoionic molecule with H nu in the presence of benzene as the solvent. And what we have seen here is that following two different pathways, two different products will be formed. The first one will be an alkyne molecule, and the second one will be a six-membered diene molecule, something like this here, right? So this is all about this video lecture. Thank you so much.